Jesus' Great Commission as reported by Matthew in Matthew 28:18 to 20. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age." Well, quite a lot in there. In fact, we see 10 teachings that are very important to us as a church. The first one is that Jesus' authority is supreme. There it is there, verse 18. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. That's a big, big statement. Jesus has ultimate, supreme authority. No name is higher than his and never will be. One day every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, which brings us to our second teaching, which is Jesus' authority is the basis and foundation of our work. Therefore, it says in verse 19. So the reason we go is because of Jesus' authority. We don't go out in the authority of people, of man, of some other authority, human authority. We go under the authority of Jesus, regardless of what other authorities might say. Jesus' authority is the basis. And remember, his authority is supreme. He's been given all authority in heaven and on earth, and it's in that authority that we do our work. The third teaching is that we will make disciples. He says, therefore, go and make disciples. That means helping people to come to faith in Jesus and follow him. A disciple is someone who follows and learns from someone else. Other people had disciples in Jesus' day, and I guess they do today, even if they're not called that. But we're called to make disciples who follow Jesus. And no one will be excluded from our efforts. And it says here in verse 19 that we're to make disciples of all nations. That means everybody. That means go everywhere and preach this gospel, this good news. It doesn't matter who they are. They could be any nationality, they could be any gender, they could be any level of society. The gospel is for everybody and no one will be excluded. Fifth point, baptizing them. We do uphold baptism as a command of Jesus, and that is baptism by full immersion in water, because that's what the word baptizo means in the Greek. So that's what we do. When somebody comes to faith in Jesus, they should be baptized as soon as possible. There's not meant to be a delay. There's not meant to be a cooling off period. Let's just get on with it and baptize them. And we believe in the Trinity. Part 6 of these 10 teachings is teaching 6. We believe in the Trinity because when Jesus set out this great commission, he said, we're going to baptize them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. So that Trinity is one God expressed in 3 persons. The 7th teaching in the Great Commission is that we have to teach, and we're not going to just teach dry doctrine, dry teaching about the Bible and about God. We will teach disciples to obey Jesus. That's what it says here. And teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you, says Jesus. That's what disciples do. They learn from the person they're following and they learn how to live the way they are taught by that person that they are following. So that's what we're going to do. And that means that anyone who's learnt to follow Jesus in any area of life, they can pass that on to other people. What I'm saying is it doesn't have to be a Bible teacher. It could be an ordinary, everyday Christian who's learnt something about following Jesus. They can pass that on. Teaching number 8 that we find in the Great Commission is that our teaching must be Christ-centered. It's very easy to water down the message to make it more palatable. It's very easy to go down the route of life coaching with a nod to God, but we are going to be Christ-centered in our teaching. He says, teach them to obey everything I have commanded you. It's Jesus-centered. It's centered around the Jesus who came and died to set us free from the law. So it's not Moses-centered, it's Jesus-centered. The Old Testament points to Jesus, so that's how we use that part of the Bible. The 9th teaching in this Great Commission is that we are not alone. Jesus is with us. He says, and surely, we can be sure about this. This is not in question. This is not something we should doubt. Surely I am with you always, wherever you go, whatever you do, whether you face opposition, you have Jesus with you. We are not alone. Not only are we together as a church family, but we have Jesus with us. Final teaching, we will not stop until Jesus comes again. He says, I'm with you always to the very end of the age. So we are to carry on until the very end of the age. There will be an end of the age, and many people feel that that is drawing ever closer. Well, of course it is. Logically, it's drawing ever closer, but people feel like they're sensing the signs of the end of the age. Well, Jesus is still with us. He says, I'm with you to the very end of the age, and there is no instruction to stop making disciples. So let's keep doing it. So there we have 10 teachings from the Great Commission. Jesus' authority is supreme, and it's the basis and foundation of our work. We will make disciples. No one will be excluded from our efforts. We uphold baptism as a command of Jesus. We believe in the Trinity. We will not just teach, we will teach disciples to obey Jesus. Our teaching must be Christ-centered. We are not alone. Jesus is with us, and we will not stop until Jesus comes again.